Okay, howdy. Hey, y'all. I'm very sorry for the delay. As you can see, we are still experiencing some delays. I will add, Mr. Dunderbox is awesome. I've not been there a very long time, though. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Please tell me I'm not just lagging the moment I connect. OBS is still not working properly, just so you're aware. I hope it's working well enough. And I can't get the game open just yet. It's working on it, though, I think. I don't know if you can actually hear me at all at this point. Maybe not. No, I'm getting a swirly loading screen. Oh, jeez. Thought I had it for a second there. Maybe. Oh, well, maybe. Looks like it's working again. All right, I'm back. Am I back? Hope I'm back. Okay. It looks like things are starting up. All right, things are working. Working as they should be. It's getting there. Hello. Hello. Ooh, Kylie, yeah, bonfire with pumpkin ale. That does sound very nice. That's such a cozy autumn thing. Even if the weather out today-ish is far from cozy and far from autumn. It's wet. It's really the only way I can describe the weather like this week. Muggy, even. Okay. I'm trying to open up the game. It's getting there. It is don't understand what is going wrong. Oh look, hear that? That's a good sign, I hope. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm so sorry about this. Um I'm probably gonna come in afterwards and edit out the beginning chunk of this that was just dead air of me staring into the blackness of the screen. Oh, great. My computer's frozen again. I don't know if you guys can hear me anymore. I have no way of knowing. Yes. Okay. It's opening. But yes, absolutely. I agree with Kylie. Yeah, Kevin, if you ever down Florida ways, Thunderbox would be a good place to go. There's also plenty of other places, obviously, but we have a we unfortunately do have a kind of middling selection in terms of German places. It's kind of just Dunderbox around the area. There aren't too many other like nice German style like beer houses. It's kind of sad. There was never much of a German population around here. Although aside from there's an exception to that. Right around here, San Antonio, right next to St. Leo. Um, there was a point at which the uh, the 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 diocese, when they installed a new priest, they installed a I forget if it was an Irish priest to replace the German one, or a German priest to replace the Irish one, and whoever it was that was leaving was basically refusing to leave, so they wound up the two priests who were one after the other assigned to Saint Anthony of Padua, our parish. The two of them got into a fist fight in the parking lot about who was properly going to be assigned to the church, to the diocese, or to the parish. It was apparently hilarious. I'm sure. Oh man. Mm. Oh yeah, Southern Indiana. Yeah, lots of Germanic folks out that way, I think. Yeah. Okay. I think it's starting. Large, apparently significant portions of my computer's user interface are just completely glitched. OBS is not giving me any information about anything aside from audio bars. But, we're live-ish. We're live-ish. Oh, Kylie, you never have. I've got my dad's side of the family are mostly up in Indiana. Some of them have moved down here, Florida ways, but for the most part, up in Indiana. Plymouth. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Almost no one has. um, Near South Bend. Waiting. Come on. We can do this. I don't even know what time it is. My computer isn't even telling me what time it is anymore. It just says 9 colon. I don't know what the heck is going on tonight. I apologize. I really do. I mean, my wall clock says 9:45, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. Don't know how accurate, at least. Anyway. Gin and raspberry. Very good. While we are trying to wait. We're trying to wait. 9:43. Oh, goody. Yeah, my clock's a little fast. That's okay. I don't know why. That thing does not stay accurate. But what are you going to do? Yeah, kind of we're very rural. Yeah. Yeah, one of the times I was up there, I went to some of the caves over there up in Indiana. It's pretty cool. Really cool. It's not the kind of thing you get here, obviously, down in Florida. We don't our water table is way too high. There are things like springs, really, really deep freshwater springs. They go down like 70 feet. Just a 70-foot hole into the ground kind of thing. As a spring, as a nice, very stable temperature, like 73 degrees year round kind of thing. Gigantic deep springs that feed a lot of the rivers around sort of this middle western area of Florida. I've snorkeled in a lot of those. I've never actually dove deep diving into them. I've not done scuba. Had the offer several times. I never actually went around doing it. You almost got stuck in the mouth of a cave? Like little or like big? Because I mean, like getting like the mouth of a cave just kind of opens up through like a crevice or something. I could see that crevasse. I don't know what the difference is. I could see that being a bit of a traumatic experience that could lead to such problems. I could see that. If this doesn't work by 10 o'clock, I might have to call it. Reset my computer a few more times. Hang out with you guys in Discord or something. I don't know. Medium-sized and overweight middle schooler. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. All right, come on, come on. Come on, everything. You can do it, computer. I believe in you. Mostly. Okay, yeah, there's the clock's back. Oh, no, it's not. Left. Left again. Yeah, that the like the just kind of walk through guided tours are actually really really cool for that sort of thing because even the really accessible parts are still just really really cool. Um, the just giant cavities in underground are just there's something really really neat about that. Waiting. Am I lagging out repeatedly on your guys' end? I really can't tell. I'm getting a loading screen thingy on my YouTube monitor thing, but I don't know if that is actually a problem or if it just looks like it's a problem. Okay, there. No, not that. No, everything. Stop it. Literally cool. 52 degrees all year. Yeah, that's very cool. It's very cool. I mean, compared to this the springs. well, that's weird. I mean, everything else, like all of this, is black, kind of by design. You know what I'll do is I'll just embiggen my face. Howdy, friends. There. Now I'm bigger in the middle. You can see me while the rest of it loads. Nothing is loading properly, of course. So this may be. Oh, oh! Origin opened. Hooray! That means Dragon Age 2 will be opening any minute now. Lots and lots of fingers crossed. Come on, guys, we can do this. We can do this. But yeah, all the springs we're in Florida are very they're also that kind of constant temperature year round kind of thing. So like when I went snorkeling in one during the winter, like dead of winter, it was like the frost on the ground didn't get above 40 the whole day. Which, yes, that is what dead of winter is like in Florida. Um, don't laugh, you Northron, you. But that's basically what that was like. It was warm. The water was like felt hot till you got out of it, which is why you need a wetsuit and such. Because it wasn't actually warm. Water was not actually warm because it's still like 73 degrees, which is pretty cold for water you're going to be swimming in. Um, so you pretty much needed a wetsuit, and then getting out of the water, dear God, that got rough. All right, so Origin's working gradually. We're getting there. I apologize for my existence, Kevin. Right. Well, if I'm not gonna be, if my face is just too horrible to gaze upon, I have something to show you guys, which we may be beginning to collect something. We may be starting a new collection of little things. This is something that we happened across at Cracker Barrel this weekend. The store part, not the food part. And I'd like to say that we got it for Saoirse, um, but let's be realistic. It was only like maybe 50% for Saoirse. It was in a lot of it was just because we wanted it because we thought it was cute and we want to collect these monstrosities. So it's this little thing. As you can see, this is a cat. It is part of a collectible game thing called Cats versus Pickles. As you can see, there's a little cat versus pickle logo on its butt. And it's a little fancy, fancy little cat, little beanbag cat. I love it. It's fantastic. It's delightful. It's adorable. Apparently, it is a game. Like an app game, like a phone game kind of thing. Cats versus Pickles that I haven't checked out yet, really at all. We just saw this and it was adorable, and it reminded me a great deal of one of my D&D characters that I use as an NPC quite often, Stefan, who in his original form is very English and very pompous and English and all that, with a mustache and a monocle and all that whole thing. Basically, this less of a cat. And I love this thing. It's our little Stefan cat. And we're probably, being realistic, we're probably going to be collecting these cats versus pickles. Anyway, yes, Kylie, it is. It is adorable. Absolutely adorable. Right, Erica? You're watching at this point, right? You agree? Okay. Oh God, Kevin says hot and humid weather doesn't appeal to me, but I would be interested in the flora and fauna of Florida, especially reptiles and amphibians. Oh, for sure, for sure. Just go in our backyard. I'm telling you. Um, yeah, there's like today it was. I mean, it wasn't actually that hot today. It was a high of maybe 82, which for Florida isn't that hot. For any other sane person, that's pretty hot, but for Florida, it's not that hot. Okay, Erica says it's 90% hers, 10% searches. Do I at least get like 1%? I at least get like, could it be like 89% yours and 1% mine and 10% searches? Because she was carrying it today. She brought it to the store with her. So then I took it in the stream, but anyway. Ooh, hold on. I'm gonna shrink myself back down because I think Dragon Age is starting up. So I think we're good. I think we are good. I'm gonna shrink back down to the corner. Yeah. Just maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, we have a great deal of reptiles and amphibians and such. Even just in our yard, like I was saying, we got lizards, we got geckos, we got all manner of different frogs and toads and snakes and a few different kinds of snakes we've seen in our yard. We've seen rat snakes, black racers, ringnecks, water snakes, water moccasin once, but that was down by the lake. Was it? Was it by our lake, or did I see one of the other lakes or something? I remember there was one around the neighborhood at some point. I think it was by our lake. Plus you get turtles and tortoises and stuff. Gopher tortoises, big deal. They get huge. Box tortoises. The little sliders, the little red-eared sliders. Those get surprisingly big. Eric's dad's house, so he lives near-ish, not quite right around here, but near-ish, still Florida. He's got a creek in the back that has an alligator snapping turtle that's like this big. Its neck is like 1.5 feet long. I think it's terrifying, and I love it. I want to go feed it hot dogs, but it's probably a bad idea. That might train it for going after fingers, so maybe not. Okay, it's starting up. It's starting up, and my computer's lagging like crazy for whatever reason. I don't understand what the heck is going on with this computer, and I very sincerely apologize to everybody, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, give it just a second. Oh. Okay. Is it showing up? Yeah, all right. Okay, we're in. We are in less than an hour. Oh my gosh, we made it in less than an hour. Would you look at that? Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome back. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Dragon Age 2 if it loads. Oh, no, don't do this. Don't do this. Hopefully, it will load. Yeah, no, looks like we're good. I hope. So welcome back in any case. We are actually here. Hopefully you're not just hearing noise, but now we are seeing things. I hope. I think we're all set. Meanwhile, let me explain some of the philosophy jokes and such I was making just earlier in the chat before we started legitimately. So Kevin, you mentioned the logos being an inaudible word, a word uttered in silence that does not speak in the noise, but is the reason and the words spoken by the Father in the creation of the world. This was one of those things that the Manichees, who were a group of heretics, a group of Gnostic heretics that Augustine was, earlier in his career mostly, obsessed with refuting. And they were materialists. Right? So they imagined God as either a physical being or a physical force almost. And because of that, they envisioned things like the word as being spoken. Right? Things like that. And hey, yeah, our little introduction was nice. We got some good conversation going, so not to worry. We were just now on our way to helping Meryl with her quest with a Varteral, which is some sort of horrible beastie. Horrible elven beastie.
Is someone there? It's safe. You can come out.
Hello? Praise Andraste. I mean the creators.
Huh.
I thought I'd never get out of... Meryl?
Anethera, Paul.
Paul.
Are you hurt?
Stay back. What do you want from me?
Excuse me?
Paul, what's wrong? I'm here to help.
Paul? Okay.
Stay back! Don't touch me!
Be calm, Paul. We'll help you get back to the camp.
You
This
don't
is
know
weird.
what she is, what she's done. Creators, help me! Someone, please!
Don't do that.
No! We have to catch him. Hurry.
He's going towards the big scary monster. That's not good. But so the Manichees, being physicalists, being materialists, were very, very, they were all about physicalizing their idea of God. Oh, there it is. Remember when we fought one of these in Origins? I mean, in Awakening, I guess, but still.
Hold on, Paul. We're coming.
Yee. That is a weirdly laid out creature. Gotta say. Alright, let's see. What can we do? What can we do? Yeah, paralyze it. And Firestorm. It's not doing anything. Yeah, it is. A little bit. What's with the big water splash? What the heck is Aveline doing that's splashing water everywhere? What is happening over here? I'm so confused. Anyway, so the Manichees, being physicalists, but sort of what we would call today non-reductive physicalists, their whole thing was that we can describe things in physical terms, including the divine, including God. Being Gnostics, their other thing was to contrast the physical with the material. Right? That the material is fallen and faulty and less than perfect, less than ideal. Okay, that hurt a lot. It is a bit reminiscent of an Acklay. Yes, I absolutely agree. Which is, by the way, one of my favorite Star Wars monsters. That didn't work at all. That's a spiderling? No. That's not right. What's with the water? Oh, no, not Varric. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Kevin says, I'm getting Obi-Wan vibes from the main character as well, so it's neat to see the fight, parallel universe. Yeah, true.
You can save him, can't you?
I'm sorry, Meryl.
Can't I? That's not good.
Why did you run? You shouldn't have run.
Yeah, between Hawke being a wizard and having a spear and fighting an Acklay. Yeah, I can see the Obi-Wan vibes.
What did you do to scare this man to death?
Create.
That is not the way to phrase that, Hawke.
I don't know.
You dick. Good lord. Also, a bit of the accent.
There was nothing you could have done.
He was more afraid of me than the Vateral. Paul wasn't like the others. He was city-born. Worldly. He ran away from the Denerim and found us. I thought if anyone would understand, he would. Something is very wrong. I want to see the Keeper.
Yeah. That's not right. That's definitely something very wrong, I would say. Anyway. But yeah, I do, like I said, the Manichees were the early target for Augustin, and then eventually he came to sort of shift his focus to dealing with the Pelagians after he encountered the mad monk Pelagius, who was he was basically the guy who thought that we could win a sort of salvation, through our own merits, right? We could merit salvation of our own accord, and that a key part of the heresy was that Christ, rather than being a sacrifice for it, a propitiation for us, was rather just an example for us to live up to and to follow, which is obviously very, very deeply heretical. Come back here, Sable. There's no need to yell, Hawke. What in the world? Hey. 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 Womp. Womp. Got him. Some good spells. Right. Evan says, I have so much love for Star Wars, but I get a sort of hollow feeling from it these days. Like the loving a memory or interacting with the ghost of a loved one. Yeah, thanks, Disney. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I really get that. And it's the thing with it for me that's almost that makes it a little better, but then also a little worse.
The way everyone looked at me in the camp when we arrived. What have they been saying about me?
It's that.
I think I'm worse than the blight.
Jeez, Meryl. It's that once in a while there's something that's actually genuinely really great.
To be afraid of me. None of this makes any sense.
Like I liked a lot of The Mandalorian. I really did. Not everything. There were some weird tismy parts in it, but a lot of The Mandalorian I really, really liked. Oh no you don't. No you don't. No you don't. No you don't. Oh, it's a frost horror? Okay, we'll fire them. Another firestorm. But yeah, the fact that there's a lot of Star Wars there's some Star Wars nowadays that is actually genuinely really good. That makes it a little bit more difficult to reconcile the parts that are no longer as good as they should be. The parts that are sequel stuff, etc. I mean, there's even in terms of like this sort of dichotomy, just all in one. We have the combined hope and concern I have for the KOTOR remake, which was just officially announced. A lot being announced about it, but I know that it's being produced by modern LucasArts, which I'm a little troubled by, but we'll see. I'm still optimistic. But then also seeing that some of the there's at least that one head writer who is just not a friend of any fans, as far as I can tell. See, Kevin asked what happened to the Republic Commando books. I can't find them in ordinary places. I love that series. I actually never read the Republic Commando books. most of the legend stuff is some of it's out of print, and the stuff that's not out of print is just hard to find. A lot of it you're best finding just old copies, you know. My favorite book series of Star Wars is probably X-Wing, maybe New Jedi Order, because I really did like New Jedi Order, despite the weirdness of the Yuuzhan Vong and everything in there. I really liked the Jedi at their peak kind of thing about the New Jedi Order series. But then also the X-Wing series, I always liked Starfighter combat. I was always like super into that kind of thing. The books that are about the gradual development of the Galactic Civil War, stuff like that. And yes, even more so than the Thrawn trilogy or the Thrawn duology. I know that's kind of heresy among people who like Star Wars Legends, but or old EU canon, whatever. But no, my favorite has always been the X-Wing books, and maybe New Jedi Order. That's close. They're close. Cool. Kylie is going with her friend to Disney for her birthday weekend. Cool. Monday following. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I don't know what's... Okay, no, we're fine. We're fine. It looked like I was lagging again.
The Canary must like it here, to stay so long.
From what I've seen, the Canary don't like anything.
Excuse me.
That can't be true. They must like some things. Sunshine.
Excuse me again.
Butterflies. Rainbows.
If I spot a Canary admiring butterflies, Meryl, you'll be the first person I tell.
That's weird. What's happening? Oh no. Don't do this. Everything's lagging. This isn't good. Yeah, Kevin, definitely read the X-Wing series. A couple of them have just been reprinted and remastered in full unabridged audiobook format too. I think the first couple of them. So yeah, if you have the chance, definitely pick them up and read them. They're delightful. They're so pulpy. They're so incredibly pulpy. It's just great. I love it. It's, to be fair, it's also completely, a lot of it's kind of pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna give that to Aveline, I think, if I can. Oh, jeez. That's pretty good. Borderfall. Maybe I'll keep that. Probably don't need that. Robes. That's a lot of armor. Nah. That's just better than I have. I always need more of those.
Dalish crafting is second to none, I assure you.
So Kevin suggests that I try and find the Republic Commando series. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the look of it. I'm gonna go sell it. It looks too Dalish. Not to be racist or anything, but anyway, says I should definitely try. Karen Travis wrote them. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm a fan of hers from a lot of her other stuff, a lot of her later stuff. The beginning of the humanization of the clones. Yeah, although I honestly really, as much as I liked a lot of the older humanization of the clones, like from the Republic Commando games. Just one. Yeah, just one, I guess. Feels like there was more, but just the one. And from like Battlefront and a lot of the other, like MedStar. MedStar was another one. But from a lot of those, I liked it, but I honestly like the humanization that they got in the Clone Wars series a lot better. I think it did an even better job in the series. So I just think that's all phenomenally well done.
The Varterral is dead.
Masaranas, I'll breathe easier knowing that we will lose no more people to it.
We found these.
I'll return them to their families.
We lost Paul. In the cave, he fled at the sight of me. Straight into the Varterral.
Many of the clan fear you will bring back the corruption. Or worse, from the mirror.
And where did they get that idea?
I am their keeper, Dalen. It was my duty to warn them.
Yeah, that's not...
It's still not too late for you to return to us. Reconsider. There's no need for you to live alone.
Must we go over this again? You'll never accept what I'm doing.
The Alluvion is a trap. It cost us Tamlin. It led you to blood magic. Will you let it twist you further from who you really are?
And who am I? We've done as you asked. Honor our bargain. Give me the Arulin home.
Hawke, because Merrill won't listen, I give this heirloom of my clan to you for safekeeping. Please, don't let her do this.
Thank the creators. I thought maybe she'd go back on her word.
What did the Keeper mean the mirror led you to blood magic?
Well, I mean, we know she's a blood mage, but...
The shard I picked up was corrupted. I couldn't cleanse it without help. The Keeper refused. She said that it belonged to another time and should be left there. So I found a spirit. It gave me the power to purify the mirror through blood magic.
That sounds sketchy. Sounds like a demon. Of course, the willingness to forget the past on the part of the Keeper is a little bit sketchy as well. Not a fan of that. So, you know, negatives on both sides here, I suppose. Kevin says, "Oh man, Karen Travis did a great job of it. Her portrayal of them was much like the Clone Wars depiction, at least in spirit." Yeah, and I have heard good things about the Republic Commando series in that respect. A lot of the other media that I have read from the old EU, it has Order 66 in mind too much, I think. Think to like the best example of this is that little speech that the clone commander in Battlefront, in the old Battlefront 2 gives, I think it's when you're on Felucia. Because it's like they know that Order 66 is coming, and they know they're going to have to betray and kill the Jedi. And it's like that is always right below the surface in a lot of the old canon stuff before the Clone Wars retconned it with the chips, right? And that's a little weird to me. It's a little bit weird to me.
I've never heard of blood magic purifying anything.
There's nothing inherently evil about blood magic. It's magic.
If
like
you
any
say
other.
so.
The power that contaminated the mirror was too strong to be driven out by normal means. If I had piles of lyrium lying about, I could have used that, but I didn't. I used what I had.
Blood.
Is it worth restoring this mirror if it turns your clan against you?
You know what it's like to lose everything, Hawke. Not just our land and freedom, but history, stories, language, magic, rituals. Even our gods are gone. It is a sacrifice.
That might be a good thing.
But if the mirror restores even one
For a few
fragment
reasons.
of the past, it's worth it.
But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, she's right. She's generally right. I do think that the study of history is absolutely an important thing. One of the most important things, especially for a culture like this, right? A culture that is so displaced. But their gods being gone, that's the part that, well, maybe that's not so bad in the big picture of things. For reasons that will eventually become apparent, but also just because, you know, all glory to the maker. Anyway. One of the other sort of semi-jokes I made was about Qualia. Weird word. So Qualia is the what it's likeness to have experience. It's inner experience. So we say that I or you or, you know, human beings have qualia, what that means is our minds experience things. And this is very different from a computer, right? So a computer has no qualia. Even if it does calculations, even if it outputs information, there's nothing that it's like to be a computer. There's no inner experience to it. And this is part of the hard problem of consciousness in the philosophy of mind. That how do we explain qualia without reference to something that's non-physical? And you can't. I'm sorry, matter. Well, okay, not true. Unless matter is also intrinsically teleological, but in that case, modern materialists consider teleology to be non-physical anyway. So screw them. Kevin said it is weird. On the one hand, they would have knowledge of it since it's programmed protocol, but the level of autonomy would almost dictate that at least some of them would divulge it. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing with the old version where it was simply psychologically programmed, or programmed in terms of training, rather than in terms of like in the new version, the Clone Wars version. That it's this inhibitor chip, which I actually kind of like that. I mean, I really do kind of like that. It especially makes the clones out to be like more or less the greatest victims of the Clone Wars. They were used from beginning to end, and they were just disposable. Especially now with Bad Batch and what happens in the last couple episodes there. I mean, I won't go into spoilers, but watch it. It's good. It's a really good series. It's really well done. It's really good. Really goes into the whole rise of the New Order thing quite well. The sort of transitionary period between the Republic and the Empire.
I hope this helps you finish your work on the Eluvian.
Thank you. I knew you would understand. Let's be away from here. The others are giving me the evil eye.
Yeah. Do you mean that literally? Is that a thing? Is like the
Another time.
Is the evil eye an Elven tradition? If so, that's another weird little cultural import. So not only are they part Native American and part Welsh, but they're part Mediterranean? That's wacky. As far as I know, the evil eye really only shows up in the Mediterranean. What's happening? Is the cutscene about to start, or am I just lagging? My computer's just not cooperating tonight. I apologize once again, everybody. We had Popeyes tonight, though. Hope yes, chicken. The real Lord's chicken. I know everybody says it's Chick-fil-A, but nah. Hope yes. Papist chicken. All right. So, the other thing I mentioned, herbalist tasks. Let's go turn those in. Then, oh yeah. Then we'll go to the Chantry, meet up with, oh, this is the one about this is about the Kunari, isn't it? All right, well, let's go turn in an herbalist task thing. Yeah. The other thing I was mentioning earlier on was Stone Toss. And this is a sort of I took it to be mostly joking and tongue in cheek, but the other people certainly didn't. Argument discussion I was having on Facebook for the better part of this afternoon. Still, I'm suspecting they're seething, given that I have not returned to the conversation because I left for you guys. But this was in a oddly enough in a Catholic Geeks group, because somebody posted a Stone Toss comic, the one about RuneScape. If you haven't seen it, just search Stone Toss RuneScape; it'll show up. It should be like the first thing or two. It's very funny. It's basically, I'll just give you the short version. It says, "Man, old man, back in my day, we didn't have dating apps. We had to find dates the old-fashioned way." And then it goes to a picture of a bunch of people on RuneScape. One of them has buying GF on their text thing. Which, if you ever played RuneScape back in the day, was kind of super common. And then there's a bunch of other just like both just RuneScape-y things like people would always constantly say, and then also just like early 2000s internetisms, which, man, it was a great little comic. However, inevitably, on almost any forum, when someone shares something from Stone Toss, someone has to make sure that everyone knows that Stone Toss is a Nazi.
Brilliant. I'm amazed.
Of course he's not. It's just calumny, again, because of course it is. It's just, again, slander. And that's all. However, it gets its plausibility because, he has made some edgy comics. Right? He's made some comics that are, generally speaking, kind of edgy. So there are some things that he has said that some comics he's made about sensitive stuff, about sensitive material that you can interpret uncharitably if you want to. None of that. And that, people think that making jokes about racists, for example, makes one a racist, or making jokes about sensitive subjects means that one is insensitive about it, right? And maybe he's kind of edgy. Maybe some of the comics are kind of edgy, but repeatedly throughout this whole conversation, I was like, okay, well, can you explain to me what exactly is wrong about the OP comic, the one about RuneScape? Because you're not addressing that. You're just saying that you don't like this guy because he's a bad guy. Apparently, he's a villain. So we should never, ever, ever, ever read his comics or share his comics because he's a bad guy. Which is, as I was kind of pointing out, which is very simply and straightforwardly a genetic fallacy. It's just purely an ad hominem genetic fallacy. Nice. Because he's saying, basically, the person criticizing is saying that there's nothing wrong with this, but because there's something wrong with the person who made it, we shouldn't read it, we shouldn't look at it, we shouldn't share it. Which is, again, just a textbook genetic fallacy. That's it. That's all it is. And again, I almost want to use some of this as an example for class because I'm teaching logic this week and a little bit into next week. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Probably won't actually take screenshots or anything, but I may mention it in class because it's really, really, really relevant because it's a perfect example of a set of genetic fallacies. Now, it's also worth noting, he also committed a few other fallacies in there. Argument about Baculum when he was like, hey, at mods, is somebody going to do something about this? There's someone in here defending Stone Toss. Are we going to put up with that in here? I'm just like, dude, just turn off notifications, bro.
So you're taking the captain of the guard to accuse the Grand Cleric of funding zealots?
Yes.
It's a careful chat about missing Kunari.
Some days, Hawke.
The Grand Cleric, please. Tell her it concerns the Kunari.
Sarah Hawke.
Sister Patrice.
Mother.
God, I love it.
Time has changed us both. Grand Cleric Elfina cannot grant an audience to just anyone. What do you want?
Aha! It was you! Anyway, I very much I actually like a lot of Stone Toss comics. He has a great sense of humor. It's very, like I said, it's very edgy. But a lot of the jokes that he makes are at the expense of the offensive people. But people will refuse to acknowledge that because they see a joke about race and they immediately think he's a racist. Even if it's a joke about people assuming racism where there isn't any, or things like that, right? If he's exactly joking about the kind of things that people criticize him for, and he's making fun of them in particular, people immediately then assume that he's a, racist, fascist, anti-gay, rock throw comic, go away. I don't know, whatever. This sort of thing. He's actually quite funny. A lot of his comics are actually quite funny.
Funny how you and issues with the Qunari seem to go together.
And you always assume their side. I was naive when last we met.
No.
I did not want you dead, but I felt a death was necessary. That may be too fine a point for you to understand. But you must admit, you came out the better for it.
With little Stefan cat. Anyway. Well, yeah, but listen. I don't like you. I don't like when there is corruption in the Chantry. I really don't. It's very highly blasphemous. I also don't like the Qunari. I don't know what you're talking about, me being on their side of things. I was on the side of their horrifyingly tortured prisoner that I thought you were trying to help. Not the Qunari. I don't like them.
A Templar may have misjudged an order and abused the Grand Cleric's authority.
I assure you, the Templars would never embarrass the Chantry, at risk of the Knight Commander's wrath.
Men were hired for the righteous task of kidnapping a Qunari delegate. A pause that says you knew. But does her grace?
I was just expecting the, double bars going over her eyes, anime style. God, I forgot, okay, so the second game in both Mass Effect and Dragon Age trilogies, so Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age 2, both of them are just so melodramatic action movie. It's insane, and I love it. I love every freaking second of it. God, the writing and the framing and the shot composition and so much of this game is just fantastic.
It sounds like you've been bad. This will shock her grace, no doubt.
Stubborn.
Sweet tea.
All right, Sirrah Hawke.
Uh-oh.
If you won't abandon this, let me offer you something.
I'm really lagged. Uh-oh.
The Templar you seek is a radical who has grown unreliable.
Okay. Can you see me?
Confronting him may do us all a favor.
And he is what to
Okay,
you?
we're back.
He is my former bodyguard, Ser Vonel. Assume what you wish, but I offer him to you as reconciliation. Meet me at this location. I invite you, Sirrah Hawke. Come see the unrest these Qunari have inspired.
Look, I don't need to be convinced that the Qunari suck.
It's her game for the moment.
I really do not need to be convinced that the Qunari suck. I know that. We all know that. Everyone knows that the Qunari are evil sons of bitches.
What does it do? Mostly it stands in my house, looking a bit spooky.
But it's magic, right? So it can do magic things. Is it dangerous?
It could fall on someone, but you'd have to push it really hard. It's quite heavy.
Oh my god.
Meryl, is it a danger to the people of Kirkwall or not?
Oh, only to anyone sitting right under it.
Well, that's good. I think she might be underestimating the danger there, but that's fine. That's fine. I trust Best Girl Meryl. I really do. Ooh, all right. There we go.
Have to hand it to this Varnell. Nice place for an extremist rally.
Patrice is here somewhere.
That's great.
There's no traps around. I'm honestly surprised. I expected there to be. That's probably not. That doesn't seem true. Oh, jeez. No, we're fine. We're fine.
Easy as pie.
That was fine. There was a trap. It was just in front of the treasure chest.
They die like any animal. Like any beast, remove the fangs and it is lost. They are weak before the faithful of the Maker. The only certainty in their precious Qun is death before the righteous.
Stop.
Ser Varnell!
Take a knee, faithful. The Chantry blesses us.
You claim a blessing when you have used the authority of the Grand Cleric so openly? You have brought wrath down upon you. You remember Sarah Hawke?
I hate how
The Kunari have
ridiculously
friends,
she's
Sarah.
manipulating this.
How will you answer their allegations?
So I definitely don't... So here's the thing, like, I don't want to take the Kunari side. Because they're definitely a force for evil and chaos. And I also feel like the priestess here is trying very hard to get us to clean up her mess. But also, the Kunari are unarmed, bound prisoners who are about to be executed. And that's clearly unjust. So the question is, do we have an obligation to stop it? Or do we allow them to carry out what they're doing and incriminate themselves, etc.? I'm leaning towards letting them kill the Kunari. Leaning towards it. And again, not because what they're doing is right, it's obviously wrong. But at the same time, doing the opposite is clearly playing into the hand of somebody who wishes us harm. Clearly and obviously wishes us harm. And I'm leaning a little bit towards not playing into that. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for it. I don't think I've ever made this choice before. I think whenever I've played this, I'm pretty sure I've always just killed the guys. Mostly because I've been fairly anti-Templar in past playthroughs, but also I've never been a just anti-Kunari. I've never done anti-Kunari, which is a reasonable thing to do, especially in Act 2. It's perfectly reasonable to say, no, F these Kunari bastards. Just get them out of here. Let them die. Let the war start because it's going to happen anyway, kind of thing. So, you know what, go
You're
for it.
wasting time, Ser Varnell. End this so we can move forward.
No games for Eldon. You've been a puppet for years.
Unfortunately, he's
I
right.
see no reason to start listening to you now.
Hatred has blinded you to potential allies.
Not blindness, focus. Something our leaders have forgotten. Righteous. Destroy them.
Yeah. And they're attacking anyway. Little shits. Alright, whatever. Everybody, get right there. Yeah, jeez. That's not good. Oh, jeez. Okay, I need to bodyguard Hawke. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Ah, darn it. This is very good. Oof.
All right. Time to bring this.
Hey, WizKid. Welcome. Welcome. You didn't miss too much. We got a late start tonight, around like 9:50. A lot of computer trouble.
Madness.
Yes, Excellency.
Chantry involvement. Even if they are fringe elements. Oh, it could not be worse.
Yes, madness indeed. I agree. Oof, WizKid says Bioshock 2 crashed on me and I haven't saved in like a day. I hate everything. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, let's definitely accuse her. 100% accuse her.
A mother serving the Grand Cleric allowed this to happen.
Are you quite sure?
Yep.
She held a blade with them? Told them to fight you?
No, I cannot say that.
Of course not. Blasted mother. You have no idea the storm these allegations would cause. It would destroy what support I do have.
Oh yeah, hey WizKid, look. You didn't see this earlier. This is my little Stefan cat. You know Stefan, the NPC from D&D. This is a cat version. He's a cat. Eric and I have ostensibly it's for Saoirse, but once again, if you look at the chat, Eric disagrees. This is her Stefan cat, like 90%, and like 10% of it is Saoirse's. And this is from a collectible plushy beanbag toy game called Cats vs. Pickles. They have cat ones, and they have pickle ones that are different, like stylized pickles. This has got a little Cats vs. Pickles logo down there. Apparently it's like a mobile game. It's a little mobile game. So I actually haven't checked the game out yet. I kind of want to. Yeah, I hate when that happens. Yeah, let's no, this is not going to go away. This is going to be a persistent problem. Because of course it is. She is absolutely power hungry and malicious. So
I have had trouble with her before. She is slippery.
I understand. I will make my inquiries. Gently. And you should be careful in your associations.
That's fair.
Now, we have other problems. We have the delegate, but I can't return the bodies to the Canary in this state. Sirrah Hawke, you know the Arishok. What should I do?
He won't care about the bodies. Canary don't care about their bodies, about their dead. You just look at it from the point of view of evidence. So burn them. Yeah.
Perhaps we can disguise the abuse. Fire will hide the severity.
What choice do we have? Guards?
Yeah, Kunari don't care for their dead.
I appreciate your help in this matter.
Again, they're
As bad as
materialists,
this
so...
is, it could have been much worse without you.
Yeah, I agree. Boy, that was a heck of a fight. I need a injury kit, I guess. Can I take one? Oh, I'm controlling Meryl. Oh, whoops. That's why. There we go. All right, better. All right. Okay. Let's get out of here. It was awful. It was just awful. Whiskid says Kunari don't care. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's I like I said, I consistently and repeatedly say that I am not a fan of Kunari. I like the look of this shield better. She's already defensible enough. She never dies. She absolutely never dies. Alright, well, let's go do Night Terrors. Yeah, let's go do Night Terrors. That's the one with the, Fainreal, the elf kid. Let's go do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, Kylie says she's got to log off early. Early morning tomorrow. Need all the sleep I can get. Night, everybody. Yeah, night, Kylie. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry we Sorry we started so darn late. I feel really bad about that, but computer issues, man. Tell you what. Things are, by the way, still not quite working all the way correctly. Like, I'm getting... My entire user interface on OBS, over on my other monitor over here, is just, like, blanked out. Like, I have no text alerting me to what's going on my OBS monitor over here. That's my streaming software. And that is less than ideal. Less than ideal.
Hawke, I could never have faced the Keeper myself.
Huh?
I never imagined a human would help me restore Dalish history. No one ever understood. Not the Keeper, not my clan. Just you.
Aww. Aww.
I'm sensitive, handsome, and supportive. What else could you possibly want?
Oh my god.
Nothing. Oh, not that I'm saying that I want you. I'll just stop.
Oh my god, that look.
You're the first real friend I've ever had. Maserana's Letherly.
Oh, that look. Oh my god, that look. Oh, Jesus. See that, Wizkid? Yeah. So Wizkid says, when I was calculating how much time I had to get all my stuff in on Sunday, I completely neglected the fact that Saturday exists. I mean... What are you, observing the Sabbath or something?
Oh, Hawke. Come in. I was just...
You okay?
Am I crazy?
What? No, of course not.
I thought the rule in a home would fix everything. The mirror would work and everything would be right again. But I keep dreaming of Paul's face. Everyone that I care for thinks I'm a monster.
So first of all, I keep noticing that her outfit is just bizarre. She's a full suit of chainmail, except for the flexible bits, with a tabard type thing over the chainmail. But it's like not over a Under Armour or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Something weird about it. The way that they wear chainmail in the Dragon Age series is very much like clothing, and it's kind of strange.
It's hard to imagine someone more lovable
But I
than you.
digress.
That's so untrue. I can think of someone.
Aww.
You've been so good to me. Someday I'll make this up to you, Lethaline.
Aww. What's Lethaline mean? Actually, don't know. Ham and cheese.
I've got something for you.
Yes, Wizkid, she is a weirdo elf girl. Leave her alone. I'm not leaving her alone.
Ooh. Did you get this from Master Island? Mythal, did I miss some important occasion? I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you, I promise.
There's no occasion, Meryl. I just thought you'd like it.
I do like it. I'm sorry I'm making a mess of this. No one has ever given me a present before. Useful things. Tools or clothes. Because I needed them, not just because. Maceranis, I'll find a good place for this.
All right. Back out to Lowtown. Let's actually do this quest now that we've been yakking about.
So I hear you've been visiting the Viscount's gardens, Stacy.
Oh, they're enormous. And they're always empty. Why don't more people go to see them?
Probably because they're private and surrounded by guards.
I thought all those men looked a bit cross.
Meryl. Oh my god. Kevin says, I went away for a moment to warn my brother about finding love in Canada. I'm back. Wait, like, warn him against finding love in Canada? Or warn him that it might happen? Or, like, warn him that those darn Canadians are just waiting to fall in love with him? I'm super lost about this. This is very confusing. I have no idea. Please clarify, Kevin. I have no clue what you're on about.
I was hoping you'd come.
Oh, warn him against falling in love with Canada. Okay.
Already,
That's fair. That's good
I
advice.
visited him among the people, but he turned me away. I know the demons still plague him. And now they've taken him. 2 days ago, Fainreal went into a nightmare and hasn't returned.
I mean, now, there is the danger of falling in love and being drawn away from this promised land and going to Canada. That's dangerous. But there is, I suppose, the possibility of falling in love with a leaf and then bringing them here. And then converting them, as it were, into a real person. That might just be a good thing. You never know. Well, not really against, but just be exceedingly careful, he says. Oh my gosh. Go bonk the Quebecois. Always. I'm being from Florida. I have a serious, significant aversion, an unfair prejudice entirely, I admit. But certainly a prejudice against Quebecois. Mostly because of their driving. As I say over and over again, whenever this comes up, they do not know how to drive, and they try. They try so desperately to drive down here in Florida, and they do such a bad job at it. Oh my god, he's thinking of moving there. I'm so sorry you've lost him. Heaven, I don't know if there's any hope at this point. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, there's always Florida. Florida's a good place. Do that instead. Weather's awful. Just terrible. But everything else is nice. Hot Whisket says, I'm from Michigan. How the hell do you think I feel? I wouldn't want to be from Michigan. Oh my gosh. Whisket says, Kevin, you no longer have a brother. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds about right. Oh, God.
Surely there are mages who can pursue him in the Fade.
I have contacted Keeper Marathari. The Dalish have an ancient ritual that might help, but it requires someone Fainreal trusts to enter the Fade to free him.
He can't be woken up?
The Keeper says he is near death. His lips still fog a mirror, but that is all.
I have braved the Fade before. Perhaps I can aid him.
You have been so kind to us. Fainreal thinks of you as a true friend. Marathari is coming to perform the ritual that will bring Fainreal back. His childhood things here will help anchor him.
Perhaps this is something best left to the Circle.
The Keeper will delve into the ancient magics to protect this half-breed. She wouldn't do so for me.
Oof.
I've already called for the Keeper. We need to begin the ritual as quickly as possible.
First of all,
Would you like to
half-breed.
stay
Easy there,
here
Meryl.
or return when she arrives?
Easy there, Meryl. Also, Kevin says he's found a Catholic Austrian. Oh, okay. Austrian girl on a goat farm, and it's 9 months into an infatuation. Yeah, all right, sure, go for it. You know, down home, backwoodsy type. Better than a lot of Canadians. She seems nice, Kevin says, but I'm perpetually cynical. I don't blame you. She's Canadian. You know how they are. First of all, make sure she's really a she. And not... I would say a fed, but I guess a mountie. But beyond that, you know, make sure that she's, you know, sane. That helps. Yeah, Wizkid says that's awful close to mudblood there, Meryl. Yeah, a little bit. That was a little too far there, Meryl. Jeez. Easy there. Alright, let's get going.
This is too urgent to delay.
You have been far kinder than I had any right to expect.
Damn it, Wizkid. It'll show up eventually. There it is. Wizkid says, yeah, well, tell him if it doesn't work out, he can always dump her over to me. Come on, dude. If it didn't work out, it's probably for a reason. Careful there. Such nice music. I like it. I love it. It's delightful. Wizkid says I need to make one of those explicitly for him. I'll write that down. Eddie Bonk.
I came quickly,
Scream.
Eliane. I did not wish to tell you by letter how grave your son's situation is. The magic he possesses makes him what the Tevinters called Somniari, a dreamer. Dreamers have the power to control the beyond, what humans call the Fade. Fainreal is the first in 2 ages to survive.
Oh, wow.
Why are they so rare?
Dreamers have great power in the Fade. They attract demons. Luckily, most prove too frail of mind to survive a demon's possession. A dreamer abomination would be near unstoppable.
That's not good. But at all, we ought to stop that.
Is there a difference between the Beyond and the Fade?
They are the same. By either name, the Fade is the realm of spirits, Thedas' heart, while the mortal realm is its strong arm. The demons who live there covet the bodies of mortals and seek to possess them. Only mages ever touch the Fade in a waking state. Others see it in dreams.
It is so weird that Dalish elves, that their traditions and even their naming conventions have gone so strangely in an odd direction like this, given that the Fade is basically an elven term. It's an ancient elven term. From my understanding and from my memory of Inquisition, like the Fade is what the elves called it, the ancient elves, not beyond. That is so weird. It's bizarre. It's cool, kind of, to see how far away from ancient elven tradition the Dalish have just sort of wandered, strayed. I mean, it really speaks to the problem of a purely culture that passes on its history purely through auditory storytelling rather than written record, being so nomadic.
What can a dreamer do?
Dreamers are unique for their ability to enter the Fade at will.
Ooh.
Without the aid of lyrium. In the Fade, they can shape dreams, and even affect the world beyond the veil. Tevinter Somniari used to enter the minds of sleepers and slay them in their dreams.
Wouldn't that make one tranquil, as I understand it? Kevin says, my brother is the adventurous type, so going 1,500 miles to find love is so him. Me, not so much. I'm a deep roots man. Yeah. I don't know. I'm temperamentally conservative, I suppose, overall. Anyway.
What exactly are we going to do here?
The elves of the Dales were experts in the Somniari arts. They could even help those with no power enter the Fade. I have done my best to recreate the ritual. We will use Fainreal's childhood home as a focus to draw him back through the veil.
Do it.
Just send me into the Fade.
I told you he was amazing.
Now, Ariane, please excuse us. We must prepare.
Oh, of course.
There is more, I must tell you, that is not for her ears.
Is Fainreal in danger?
Indeed. And the danger may not come from what you think. Fainreal cannot become an abomination. The destruction he would cause is unimaginable. If you cannot save him from the demons, you must kill him yourself. A death in the Fade will make him what your circle calls tranquil. He will be no threat after.
That is Fainreal's greatest fear. I won't be the one to make it come true.
I have no choice but to leave it in your hands. Now, gather a team, and we will begin. Choose carefully, for all will face temptation.
Can I come? I'd love to see the ritual. And I promise I won't be a bother.
I can't imagine what aid I could offer in a realm of dreams and magic.
I admit, I'm a little fascinated.
Let us begin.
Okay. Well, in that case, if Aveline is not interested in joining, I'll switch her out for Fenris. I've never taken Fenris on this quest, so that might be fun. I'm definitely not taking Isabella, given that everyone will face temptation, and we all know how she works with temptation. Anyway, that'll work. This will make a great story for Varric, too. Gotta bring Varric. Evan says, my problem is I can't find anyone who isn't a multi-kid divorced Protestant right in the middle of Baptist land. Oof.
Awful thing to dream about.
Come. Fainreal must be trapped further in.
Can I summon my dog? I can dream about my dog, right? Yeah, yes I can. Who's a good pupper? Anyway. Yeah, let's do Constitution. Constitution. Yeah, that'll work. Sure, why not? No, wait. Let's go elsewhere for... Hey, book! Get back here, book! Back here, book. Got it! Did I get it? Yeah! I got it! That was weird. That was really weird. I need Constitution. I need that health. My health is really low. It's bad. It's very dangerous. Yeah, let's go this way. WizKid says, oh, come on, it'll be fun. Are you talking about bringing Isabella into the Fade? Because that does not sound fun. Hooray? Oh god, this is a weird puzzle. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Got it. Yay! Magic. Yeah. Cool! These are cool puzzles. I like that puzzle. That was a good one. Erica, write that down. I'll write it down. They're all puzzled. I might use that for D&D. Who knows? But we weren't paying too close attention, WizKid. WizKid says, my problem is all the women I like my personality and all of that, but nothing more. It's very disheartening at times. Kevin says, you're at a tough age in the strangest generation, WizKid, and you have my pity. Yeah, not just the tough age in strangest generation, but also, like, a god-awful time to try and do, like, anything. So, you know. This is weird. What am I supposed to be doing here? I don't get it. I don't get this one. Oh, hello. Hi. Hi. What's happening? Did I goof it? Oops. Kevin says we should team up and join a monastery. Hey, not the worst idea. I goofed it. I goofed it. I can't click them anymore. Darn. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. What's in here? Anything I can interact with at all? Or no? Looked like it. This looks like it's something I should be able to interact. Ooh, starry. No, there's nothing I can interact with in here. That's weird, but okay. Head from the door. Alright, fine. Anyway. I don't know, we came through here. Anyway. WizKid says, it's frustrating because I know I'm charming and likable and not some sad, pathetic fool who can't talk to women. I can get numbers easily and talk with literally anyone. It just never goes. I am not one to give good advice, honestly, unfortunately.
Well, it's rare to see two forgotten magics in one day. It's usually
A
a
demon.
slow place, the Fade. Not many surprises. I wasn't sure I'd like this one, but it has potential.
A sloth demon. Think active thoughts, like running and jumping and such.
Call me Torpor. I have a proposition that might
Little
interest
ears. The little ears keep like falling into its body. I mean, hey, Wizkid, at least you get that. At least you get that far. I mean, nowadays with our, current world, the state of the world, geez, interacting with anybody has got to be rough.
I will not give in to temptation, fiend.
Have it your way.
Got him. All right, level up. Let's go with magic and con. Oh, yes. Immune to injuries. That's heckin' perfect. I love it. All right. Sweet. So, while we're, and yes, I now, so I recognize that there's all manner of seriousness going on in this quest. However, I also want to bring up something that happened this week. It was a really significant event. That would be the death of Norm Mcdonald, who was, until this week, my favorite living comedian, possibly my favorite comedian who ever lived. He was absolutely brilliantly funny, in an incredibly unique way, in a way that you just, like, no one else can match in just the way that he is funny. So as a kind of I mean, if you haven't seen a lot of his comedy routines, even just a lot of his old stuff, a lot of his new stuff, and he's been working until like last week, which is insane. Especially knowing that he's been, and he would hate this phrase. He explicitly said he would hate this phrase, but he's been battling cancer for like 6 years. And man, like, you wouldn't have known it. You'd had no idea. But man, he was the best, possibly the best comedian of all time, my favorite at least. And he's fantastic. If you haven't, like, this week especially, sort of in honor of his passing, if you haven't gone back and watched some of his best stuff, or even just any of his stuff, really, you should. You really should. It's fantastic. It's good as it can be, and I'm much healthier about than I used to be. Now I get disappointed as opposed to homicidal. Well, that's always an improvement. Homicidal's never good. Almost never good. I can think of very rare circumstances in which it would be kind of good. When one needs to get the fighting spirit up, right? Yeah, that sort of thing. Anyway, but I still get that annoying feeling at the back of my mind sometimes that there's just something deeply wrong with me. No one will ever like me like that. I mean, I have thought the same way back in my day when I would like to say your age, but I guess I was a little younger than you. Like when I was high school, very early college, basically before Erica and I met. I was pathetic, hopeless to no end. It was just pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But what are you gonna do? Eventually it works. That's all you get. That's all you got to depend on. And it says, I hear you. I've had so many opportunities, but the details always stifle me. The marital status, the potentials, the religious differences, etc. It's tiresome, so I've gotten content as it is. Oh man, yeah, that sucked. Norm was awesome. Yeah, he was. He really, really was. I will say, in between doing things, I'll, when we're not doing stuff in particular, I want to see if I can do a good job telling one of his jokes. Or at least an inadequate job, certainly. But simply in honor of Norm, in memory
tastes the
Norm.
blood of the days.
I want to tell his Moth joke.
He came to us to learn his heritage, to release
So,
the power from a
there's this
lineage
moth,
as
right?
ancient
And this
as our
moth
race.
walks into a podiatrist's office.
I don't know what to say.
The podiatrist asks the moth, "Hey, moth, what are you doing here?" And the moth says, "Oh man, I honestly, I really just don't know.
That's not the keeper,
I don't know why I'm here. I feel like I just wander through life these days between the trouble at work, working for Mr. Schmitz. I feel like even Mr. Schmitz doesn't even know what I'm doing or what he's doing anymore, but he still has me doing it. And even if I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and if I'm doing a good job at it, I just feel like I'm just wandering through life, you know, wandering into a podiatrist's office. The podiatrist nods. I see. So what brings you in here? He says, I don't know. I feel like I'm running away from something. Maybe I'm just running away from my family, where home life is good. I can't complain, but it's like an abyss, you know. There's nothing there. There's everything is as it should be, but nothing feels right. It's like my wife and my kids and are all there expecting great things of me, and there's nothing that I can do. After all, I'm just a moth, you know. And the podiatrist nods and he says, I understand. I know how you feel. My own wife left me 6 weeks ago. And the moth says, oh no, that's terrible. My wife hasn't left me and I haven't left her, but we've all thought about it. The podiatrist agrees, nods. So what brings you in here? Do you need anything? And the moth says, don't we all need something? We all really are all just looking for something to need. Maybe it's not even that. Maybe we're just looking for someone to need us. Don't you think? The podiatrist nods sagely. So what can I do for you? This is a podiatrist office. I mean, you're a moth. Do you even have feet? And the moth says, no. Well, yeah, I do, but they're more like legs, and it's always troubled me. You know, it's always been a bother that I don't have feet like, you know, humans and such do. But I thought I'd come in here because, you know, the light was on. And that's the joke. I don't have a laugh track, I'm sorry, and I don't have a live audience, and you're my audience, so please laugh. I'm sorry. Erica just yelled at me through the door. No, that was stupid. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Oh Jesus. Oh God, he does a much better job at the joke than I do. I'll put a link to his version of it in the description. Oh my God! So in the middle of that, oh Jesus! So in the middle of that, WizKid said, "Well, that makes me feel a bit better." And yeah, eventually it'll just happen. But knowledge doesn't stop me from being impatient about it. Oh, for sure. WizKid, yes, the light was on because he's a moth. Oh God!
There can be no.
It's a good one.
With a demon.
It's a really good one.
You think I will lie then when I offer your friend?
It's a pride demon, by the way. This thing.
You think this elf with her innocent face would turn down a demon's offer? She didn't before.
Okay, Kevin says you always have me for the jokes. I laugh at nearly everything. That is one of my favorite jokes. That is really one of my favorite jokes. And so much for the delivery. The delivery is so good. His delivery. My delivery was okay. He's competent. But competent compared to Norm Mcdonald is just pathetic. He doesn't. brilliantly. I think it was on Conan. He did the joke. The best version of it. I don't know. Like I said, I'll put a link to it somewhere. It's take the time to watch it. I mean, listen, it's called the Moth Joke. The joke about a moth walking into somewhere. Everyone knows what the punchline is. The funny part's the delivery. It's an anti-joke. It's such a good anti-joke. And it's so Norm. And damn it, will he be missed. It's so much of his stuff is of that same sort of form, and it's so good. His 9/11 jokes are great too, and I have to say, and this is gonna sound really, really bad, but I'm sure that he would have been just delighted to have died a couple of days earlier, so he could have died on 9/11, just on the day of referring to, first of all, an experience that actually did affect him pretty profoundly, but also some of his best source material for some of his most absolutely vicious jokes. Anyway, look up Norm 9/11 jokes too. I'll add that. I'll add some of those in there as well. Some of them are just wonderful. Those I will not retell on here because I can't. There's no way I can come anywhere close to his kind of delivery for it. So, no, not gonna even try. If I say it, it'll just be offensive.
Demons always turn on you in the end.
I cannot put you ahead of the fate of my people.
You took my dreamer. Now
Uh-oh.
you'll take his place.
Well, this isn't good. Meryl, no. Meryl, no. Meryl, no. Oh my god. Meryl, no. Oh, she poofed. We got him. That wasn't that hard. Oh no, Meryl. Where'd you go, Meryl? Oh, Meryl, no. Kevin says he was the kind of comedian that had you smiling minutes before the punchline, like you were smoking and had weed face. Yeah, like you knew it was coming and you knew exactly what was coming. Like you knew the punchline. And even when he intentionally ruined his own jokes, which he actually did quite a bit, like he would go back and re-explain his jokes, which ordinarily will just utterly kill the comedy of anything. But when he did it in such a way that he just made it even more hilarious, somehow. He'd even get a laugh out of ruining his own jokes, which is just brilliant. Kevin, you are correct. I've never had weed face. I've smoked like once.
Good. I'll have you scribing all my letters soon. If I'd known you were such a brave lad, I'd have brought you into the business.
And even then, like, barely.
Does that mean I can come with you to Antiva, Father? Mother said maybe this summer. Right, Mother?
That's not your father, Fainreal. It's a demon. And I'm definitely not your mother.
A demon? No. No, I want this.
Then remember this is who took away them.
Only thing you ever wanted.
Yep, demon.
You turned him against me.
And now you're going to die.
You have cost me a dreamer, but at least you will provide me a death.
Harass. That is a perfect name for a desire demon. From a thought demon. There we go. That took long enough. Alright. Hunting index. Alright, we've got all of his signature thing. Let's go with archery. Ooh. Yeah, I like reducing movement speed, though. Kevin says I've smoked enough to experience different stuff. My first time, I sat there with a huge dumb smile on my face for like 5 to 10 minutes at a time until someone talked to me. Jesus. See, I've never been into the weed. Never been my thing. This kid says I don't think I've ever actually smoked. I've just gotten secondhand high and that kind of thing. Like even when I like smoked the one time, like I didn't like do enough to actually get high, like at all. So no. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, not really at all. Let's go with, actually, wait. Yeah, two-handed. It's always good. Scythe. I like it. It's because I see my biggest experience with weed comes from when I was duped into eating a whole pot cookie. Oh, jeez. Wasn't a good experience. Yeah. Especially not, like, by accident. I mean, like, kind of the worst. Everyone I know who's had this kind of experience, like, getting high and not expecting it is kind of the worst.
I can't spend another moment in this place.
Like, getting duped into getting high is like kind of the worst thing.
Everywhere, all I hear are the nightmares of people dying, fleeing, gnawing their own arms off to escape. This is a world of monsters. And they all want me. Please, help me escape. Help me die.
Kevin says, I don't smoke anymore, though. This was years ago. I think it's gay now. I mean, yeah, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that a lot of people who I do think that some people at least can do marijuana, can do weed, not have it turn into a problem. But I think that a lot of people who think that it's not a problem are definitely addicted. Now, fine, not chemically addicted, but who cares? They're psychologically addicted to it. And it really affects a lot of people, and they're sort of, it makes you a pothead. You know, and that sucks. No one likes that. Stop it. Makes you think that Seth Rogen movies are funny. Bro. Nah. Grow up. Grow up a little bit. Anyway. Erica says, I hate weed because I worked at a laser tag place. People would hotbox themselves and then come in and they would reek. And I'm like, holy F, this is a family establishment. Yes, I know. I've been in that place plenty. I used to go there a bunch with you when you were working there, and then also we used to play D&D in the back. And oh boy, you're not kidding. I know exactly what you're talking about.
If I kill you here, I only destroy your mind. You will become a tranquil.
I was afraid of that for so long. I can't even remember why. To live. To sleep without dreaming. To never hear a demon's whisper. It is a blessing as great as standing at the Maker's side.
Is this truly necessary?
Do it. Put the knife in my heart.
No, it's not necessary. Eric says he would not obey any of the rules and wouldn't pay attention to being taught the rules. And wouldn't bother to, and be a bother to everyone. But I couldn't kick them out unless I actually saw them do it. Yeah, it's... Everyone's like, oh no, man, you're just gonna be like, chill, dude. Yeah, but you're also just not paying a goddamn bit of attention. It's ridiculous. Like, pot does have negative effects. Pretty seriously. It's annoying, if nothing else, to the people around you. Holy crap. Kevin said, looking back now, the people I smoked with were the type of people that now I now think should go to Kevin's summer camp. Is that like a gulag? That's like a gulag, isn't it? I'm on to you. It's good. So yeah, there's definitely a subsection of people it is genuinely beneficial for. Everyone else likely has some sort of problem, whether addiction-wise or lifestyle-wise. And even if it's, again, like even if it's not helpful, even if it's just recreational, I do think that at least for some people who can moderate, it can be genuinely recreational, but for most people that's not the case, especially culturally. But and then there's also just the pothead types who just becomes their whole personality and just become insufferable. Like Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson is a perfect example of an insufferable pothead. Especially because if you don't believe that pot is addictive, look at Gary Johnson during the 2016 election. The election cycle. While he was running for president, he apparently quit smoking weed. And he went off the frickin' handle. The guy was like jittery, freaking out on everybody. It's like it's like it's like somebody who's addicted to coffee and cigarettes going cold turkey. That was what his personality reminded me of. And it was such a just radical, almost instantaneous shift from the way he kind of used to be back when he was, just an insufferable pothead. No, it was bad. It was bad. He was going through crazy withdrawals. Even if it was just psychological, it was crazy withdrawals. It was not good. Erica says, I got so highly attuned to the smell that when our ex-neighbors would light up their back porch outside, we had the windows open, I could smell it and have to shut all the windows again. Yeah, that's true. That happened a lot.
You can master this talent, Fenrir. You don't have to let it destroy you.
The Dalish do not have what I need. Perhaps Tevinter. If these powers can be trained, it would be there.
That might not be a great idea. You are half elven.
I can do this.
Oh, he's leaving. Oh, okay. Well, I guess he can go join the Tevinters. That might not be the best idea, but okay.
Then he lives. You saved him. I cannot thank you enough. Keeper Marathari.
I wonder if there's a chance we'll see him again in 4.
I would like to ask for my son's forgiveness.
Of course. It was you who chose to stay away.
Huh. So yeah, that actually might be neat if we see him, if you make this choice, if you will see him then again in Dragon Age 4, because Dragon Age 4 is, again, like heavily implied to be taking place primarily in Tevinter. So that'd be kind of cool. That'd be really cool.
He must go elsewhere to train. There is no one in Kirkwall to help him. He asked me to say goodbye.
My son? No. I must find him before he goes.
It is wise for him to seek guidance. Kirkwall cannot provide what he needs. I truly did not think what you did was possible. You are a rare human indeed.
You have my apologies. It is easy to forget that one cannot bind demons with words.
Your friend awakened here some time ago. No one is immune to a demon's offer. You accomplished a miracle with Fenrir. This book belonged to the last dreamer of our tribe. It has a rare magic beyond price. Please, accept it with my gratitude.
Cool. Alright, let's level up Meryl. Magic. Now let's not do the blood magic stuff, honestly. No, let's not do that. Yeah. And Kevin says the activity at Kevin's summer camp for potheads is to package and ship snack foods 8 hours a day, but no eating them. For food, they must hunt, farm, and forage. God. This is a gulag, isn't it? I knew it. Oh, gosh. Where are we going? What do we have to do next?
Why a mirror?
I don't understand the question.
If your people were going to make a magical whatever for talking to each other, why choose a mirror? Do elves spend a lot of time talking to their own reflections?
I suppose the ancient elves would have felt silly talking to a wardrobe or an urn.
I have to assume it has something to do with the magic involved, but maybe not. I don't know. Let's go back to the mansion before we do this. We've got a half an hour. We can do a little bit more.
Oh, thank goodness you're here. I thought you went to the Hanged Man.
Hi.
And I almost went there to look for you first, but then I thought you might have gone to see your uncle instead.
Why?
And I'm rambling, aren't I?
I don't mind. You're adorable when you're flustered.
After you left, I couldn't stop thinking about Paul and the mirror and everything that's happened. I wonder if I've made a mistake leaving the Dalish.
You're just feeling homesick. Don't second guess yourself.
I suppose if I hadn't left my
Fun
people,
gulag.
I never would have met you. If you were Dalish, my people would have a kingdom by now.
Huh?
And half of Thedas would be attacking us. So maybe things worked out for the best.
Ah, that's funny. I mean, it's maybe true, but funny. Oh, God. Whiskey says, no, gulags necessarily have meaningless work. All of that actually accomplishes something. Oh, yeah. Oh, and he remembers this interaction. Good.
Does it bother you that I'm human?
No, I'm not saying I'd change you for... I'm making things worse, aren't I? I'm one of the Elven. I'm supposed to preserve who we are, and if I... There are reasons that it's bad to... Is it warm in here? Elgonon. I'll stop talking now.
I doubt that I'd have unified the elves and ushered in a golden age.
If you were an elf, Master Hawke, birds would swoop down out of the trees and compose songs just for you.
Like
The
this
Keeper,
idea.
my whole clan will object if we... Not that they can possibly hate me anymore, I suppose.
Their disapproval is a small price to pay for being with you.
Aww.
Meryl. It's all right.
Aww. I totally thought I was going to pan over to the dog watching them. Good lord. When do we put up the bonk overlay? I think it's time to put over the bonk overlay. There we go. Yep. I will say though, unlike the rest of the series, there is significantly less nudity in the romance
What
scenes.
happens now? Are we... What did this mean?
The undergarments in this game are far more tasteful and weird, very weird, but far more tasteful. Okay, Kevin says you got to make the punishment rehabilitative. It's Christian, very much so.
Now we both decide what happens next.
Aww.
If you hadn't come to Sundermount that day, I can't imagine where I'd be now. I love you.
Aww.
I probably shouldn't have said that, should I? I always say the stupidest things.
This gets at the crush is real. Jesus.
I love you, Meryl. Actually, I was going to suggest you move in with me.
Aww.
Here, in Hightown, the rich, fancy part of the city with no rats in it. And you, with an elf. Marvenon.
It's also very...
You are crazy, aren't you?
It's otherwise very easy to forget that that BioWare's
If you're
not
not
very
afraid,
good at necklines.
Neither am I.
Connecting, necks to bodies. BioWare Animation has a huge problem doing that, which is why almost every character model you see either has a high collar, as you can see here, or have like necklaces or chokers or whatever else, that sort of thing. It's almost a little bit distracting in some cases because like even the relatively otherwise revealing outfits have like either high necklines or necklaces or collars or whatever. And it's because connecting the head to the neck is apparently very difficult for BioWare. I understand that you have certain experience with the disposals of inconvenient evidence like kunari, perhaps. I'm in need of such skills right now. My men have need of some things disposed of, formerly living things. You can find them in Dark Town, Low Town, and the docks. A small effort on your part will reap a large reward. Anonymous. Fine, I don't like that I'm being asked to do this, but...
Are you really getting involved with those kunari? Be careful. They don't think like us.
Not getting involved like that, thankfully. Yes! I need several of these. Like 3 of them. Yeah. Yeah! Potions. Boop-bop. Health and mana stamina. We have any of these? Alright. That'll work. I have a bunch of potions now. Enchantment. Oh, I don't have any armor runes. I need to make one for Meryl. And one for Sebastian, one for Fenris, one for Isabella. Okay. Ah, jeez. Let's do that. Wait, kid, what are you booing? What are you booing? Get it. Yeah. Meryl, Isabella, Sebastian. And should do. Fenris and Isabella. All right, there we go.
You like the shiny?
Like the shiny. Go down.
If I may say so, I don't think Mistress Meryl is exactly, comfortable staying in the estate. She's pretty. She still goes to the alienage often, usually when you're not home.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Something draws her there. I can't imagine what. Still, my boy and I do like her very much. Just thought you should know.
So Kevin asks, since elves and men can interbreed, isn't it implied biologically that either men are of elvish ancestry or elves are of human ancestry? They can't be separate species. They can if it's magical. Ooh, she gets a new outfit that isn't the weird chainmail thing. I mean, wait a minute. It still has under chainmail. What is this? God, that's so weird. All right. But okay, fine, whatever. Let's have Sebastian. Let's have Sebastian wander around with us for a bit. You know what? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Let's have our normal party. Just kidding. For this, normal party. So first of all, it is that at least what everyone kind of says is that all of the various species were created independently. Right. Whether that's true or not is kind of up for debate, up for a lot of debate. However, no one is quite sure. Right? Yeah, that's fine. No, you know what? I'm going to go with that. I'm still going to go with that. Never mind. But yeah, no one is exactly sure. However, it's worth noting that all of the humanoid races, so elves, men, dwarves, and even Qunari, can interbreed with one another in the Dragon Age setting. It's just that they are... that the result will always be one of the species of the parents, not a crossbreed, right? So if it's a... yeah, let's do that. If it's a human and an elf, they turn out to be a human. If it's a dwarf and a human, I think it's a human, but I'm not actually sure. That I don't remember for sure. But in any case, again, whatever it is, I don't actually remember the specifics, but either way, it is of the child will be of one or the other. It won't be like a half elf, so to speak. A half elf is just a human. So it's a dominant versus recessive gene type thing. I don't know about Qunari. I'm fairly certain Qunari can interbreed with other races, but I don't know what results. I think a Kossith. So a Qunari species, a Kossith is the result, but I'm not actually sure of that. And it might vary species to species as well.
Aren't you Hawke? Emmerich left not long ago. He said you'd arranged to meet tonight.
Did I tell him that? I must have completely forgotten.
Don't you remember sending this message?
Uh-oh.
I didn't send this.
Uh-oh.
You didn't? Strange.
That's not a good sign.
It's not.
Well, I don't know. Emmerich's been acting strangely for months. It's probably just a misunderstanding.
We do know, historically speaking, that humans arose after elves. And I'm fairly certain after dwarves. But it's not quite certain when Qunari arose. So humans may be the most recent species, or Qunari might be. It's also suspected that Qunari were basically bioengineered by, like, either interbreeding or by being some kind of magical experimentation with having something to do with dragons. But it's not quite clear. No one exactly knows all of those details. That's a lot of demons. This is nuts. Okay. Come on now. First of all. Oh, you. Okay, there we go. Desire demon. You need to be taken care of immediately. WizKid says, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why they did that lore-wise. I think part of it has to be to avoid the half-elf problem. Right? Partially to avoid the half-elf problem, but then there's also the much more significant, the problem that, for example, D&D encounters, which is the Dwelf problem. What exactly is a half-dwarf, half-elf? Traditionally, sort of in D&D history, it has been called a Dwelf. A dwarf elf, right? So it's basically like a half-elf, but half-elf, half-dwarf. And stats-wise, they have historically just been like worse humans.
Some mage sent that thing here to kill him. Why would anyone? Oh, Maker. The murders. Emmerich was right.
So that's from a game design standpoint. From like a lore building standpoint.
Did he do this?
I don't think he did, but we'll see. But yeah, it's from a lore standpoint, from a realism standpoint, from a sort of verisimilitude standpoint. I really don't know. That is an interesting question. It probably, I mean, the Chantry would say something like that we were all children of the Maker, right? And so we would then be of the same species again, like I have mentioned. I've talked about this with respect to aliens in Mass Effect and how that all rational animals are of the same metaphysical species. And so that would mean that they would be the same or relevantly similar or close enough biological, at least biological subspecies in Thetis, in Dragon Age. And if that's the case, then that's really cool. And I do kind of like that. And it's biological species matching up with metaphysical species, in a sense. Or speciation, I guess I should say. Evan says, would interspecies relations like this be forbidden by church teaching in our reality? Say, if there were alien babes, and relations could happen but not be reproductive. So that latter part means that almost certainly not. That would be misuse of our reproductive faculties. If you go back and rewatch a bunch of my Mass Effect streams, which I recommend you do, I'll put some of the ones where I talk about this in there. But I argue, and also I'll put a link to an article I wrote about this, because I actually wrote an article about this a few years ago, and it's still up on. I put it back up on my blog about that question with respect to human and Asari marriages, essentially, and I argue that for all relevant purposes, humans and Asari are humans, are both human beings in the theologically relevant sense, and could therefore marry. And could marry, reproduce, and do the thing that leads to reproduction, let's say. I think that the same would apply here, right? In our case of, a human, an elf, maybe a dwarf, maybe a Qunari, whatever the case might be. If interbreeding were possible, I don't think that it would be. I certainly think that it wouldn't be forbidden. Because again, in the relevant sense, they're both human. They're both theologically human. Both are rational animals, clearly made in the image and likeness of God. Right here, in this context, the children of the Maker denotes roughly the same thing. Biscuit says, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't advocate it, but my libertarian instincts really don't give a damn. Right, I mean, fine, do what you want with your genitalia, I suppose, but I'm going to tell you not to because it's unwise. I mean, I'm not going to forcibly stop you, but still don't.
Gascard was only a small piece of the puzzle. I think he's innocent.
We should have believed Emmerich. I thought he was just trying for one last shot at glory. Whoever did this is a dangerous apostate that Meredith will want found. I will see to it personally.
My guardsman will find Alessa, the woman who was with Gascard. She might still be in danger.
Thank you for your help in this matter. If you learn anything more, please come to me.
I mean, my libertarian instincts don't say not to stick it where it ought not to be. It says no, you definitely shouldn't stick it where it ought not to be. But I'm not gonna fight you about it. That's all. Now, if you stick it where somebody else doesn't want it, that's different, and that I might fight you about. I will fight you about. But But that's a separate issue again. That is a criminal issue rather than an issue of mere teleology. Not to say that teleology isn't of the utmost importance. It is, certainly. But again, for me to violently stop you from doing what you ought not to do is a violation of your humanity. I wouldn't do that neither. So, ultimately I would say, don't try and marry something that you have an intrinsic inability to consummate with, let's say. Let's put it that way. That's how I would put that.
Enchantment! No, Leandra. Leandra.
What's wrong, Uncle?
There you are. Where's your mother? Is she feeling all right?
I'm sure she's all right. Why are you so upset?
Your mother didn't show up for our weekly visit. Is she ill? She is here, isn't she?
No, Gamlin. We haven't seen her all day.
Where could she be?
With her suitor, perhaps?
Suitor? Leandra never mentioned a suitor.
Well, those lilies arrived for her this morning.
White lilies? I know something about that.
Uh-oh.
Don't just leave me waiting. What is it?
There's a killer in Kirkwall who sends his victims white lilies before he takes them. He's murdered several women already. I know someone who might be able to help. Gascar Dupuis.
No. You're wrong. Leandra is fine.
Ignoring the facts doesn't change them.
You don't know for sure that she's in trouble. Maybe Leandra took another path to my house. I could have just missed her. I'm going back to Lowtown.
You should help Gamlin look for your mother. You might be able to track her more easily once night falls and the streets empty out. All right. The boy and I will stay here in case she returns. You've had luck on your travels? There's a letter for you. Strange how the messages never come while you're home.
That's so meta. That needs to stop. Stop it, Bodan. No breaking the fourth wall. Kevin says, not WizKid, but many libertarians tend not to take the traditional stance and are proudly horn-doggish in their disposition. Not only do they think it's permissible, but also delightful. No. Yeah, no, not on board with that. Libertarianism and libertinism are very, very different. Very, very different. Okay, so Erica says, oh no, are you getting ideas for Arthur's mom? And WizKid says, oh no, I don't wanna. Listen. Maybe. Hawke, I found a lead on our cargo thefts and have urgent need of your expertise. Please meet me in Hightown's Market during business hours. Hubert. Later. I'm busy. I am super busy, that is true. However, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to call it here. Or shortly.
I like the doggy.
Or very shortly. This first.
Ruff. It looks like they're having a nice chat. Maybe Sandal picked up some Mabari speak from our time at the Hero of Ferelden's camp.
Ooh, right. Eric says, eyes widen in excitement and anticipation for character torture, traumatic character development. Yes, that. Nothing,
That's Mother's room. I shouldn't intrude.
What, on her not being here? Anyway, alright. Well, we've wandered about. We've examined all that we can examine. There's the white lilies. So, what I think we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to wrap it up here, and we are going to pick up next time. Hopefully, actually at 9 o'clock this time. But we'll see. Hopefully my computer doesn't do horrible things to me again and continue to do so. But in any case, I am planning on leaving us here at this wonderful, delightful, possibly murderous cliffhanger. And we will pick up next time with going after Hawke's mom, trying to figure out what happened to her and trying to save her from the bad guy. Should be a lot of fun. Should be horrifying. Should be traumatic. And scar everyone for life. I can't wait. So anyway, like I said, that's just about all the time we have. I cannot apologize enough. So let's save. I cannot apologize enough for the late delayed start. I should have realized that my computer had to update, but it didn't tell me. So what was I going to do? Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight, and I will see all of you guys on Monday. Good night.